They believed everything that the coach said, even though they lost. And the coach told them they're a winner. The coach didn't tell them what they were doing wrong in life. And so what they do is they just believe that everybody gets a trophy and that it's all going to be okay. But this comes because they've trained these people to believe this way. They've taught these young people to go forward and think that this is how life is going to be. But now let's talk about some of the bullet points, because we only have half an hour in the podcast. One of the bullet points that I do want to look at, and we are going to go back to that video. We're going to mix it up a bit. But I want to look at Reverend Al Sharpton. Oh, Reverend Pork Chopper. Oh, hallelujah. I want all your money. Just bring all the tithes into the storehouse. Sharpton. I want to look at him because he is on something. And I don't even know if that's really him. I don't know. I don't even know if that's him. But let's go here on Morning Joe, where Joe Scarborough and Mr. Al Sharpton were sitting together with his wife, homeboy's wife, Joe's wife. And let's take a look at that, because this right here is concerning.
Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States.
Okay.
This morning,
they don't want a black woman. They don't want a black woman. Here's the skinny. They're tired of the lies. It had nothing to do with not wanting a quote unquote black woman. It had nothing to do with any of that. It had everything to do with the fact that they were pandered to. And people don't like being pandered to. But there's an even bigger underlying issue here. And we're going to get to that. The bigger underlying issue is people was tired of being poor, lied to, and put last in their own country. If you really want to just take it straight to my commentary, we're tired of being lied to. We were tired of watching others come in this country and get things like Social Security, disability that you have relatives and possibly even yourself had to work hard to get and then was denied. Even though you put into the game, you had skin into the game with Social Security. And just because you got to get up and go to work and it physically hurts you every day you do it, you keep getting denied. So you got to go. Why? Because the system is set up to where if you are ill and you miss a beat, one beat that's missed, you on your behind living out in the streets. And here down south, they throw your stuff outside. Miss the beat and see, don't they throw your crap right there on the curb? So there are a lot of people who can't even get specific benefits that they're throwing and flossing at all these other individuals with the hope that they would help them get in. But see, I said this about 2 years ago. I said they set themselves up for failure because a lot of the countries that they're bringing these people from are countries that men run their household. You may not like the country they coming from. You might not like the people that they are. But if you are attempting to build a base on individuals to come here and help you, if you're trying to get people who have the man who is the head of the house and the wife better sit down and do what he tells her to do, baby, don't you understand that you're the ones who caused the problem? Because you had all of these cats up in Michigan. How in the world are you going to even expect for people in Dearborn to bow to anything that Kamala had to say? We have a bevy of reasons why it wouldn't have worked. Just if you just want to exegete that piece and unpack it, you got all of that right there. How do you think a Muslim man is going to listen to all that rhetoric? You bring them all in. Now, one thing I'll say about them, they know how to get themselves together and build a community no matter where they are. If you got 10 of them, they're going to build a community. Same thing with the Hispanic culture. If you get them together, they're going to build community. And I don't think that they understood, and by they, I mean the Dems, they don't understand what the term community really is. You see, they use a lot of these phrases and a lot of these terms in a very loose manner. They think a community is just a group of people. No, when you're looking at the people that we're sharing about right this very second, dealing with right now, These are individuals who have a strong common core in who they are. They believe in structure. They believe in the patriarchy. And so you're not going to be able to come and attack these cats and deal specifically with the things that you think are going to work here because you brought them all here and now you've given them all the money. All they're going to do is take the money and build. There you go. You didn't expect that, did you? You didn't expect that. You didn't expect them to take the money and build their community. That's the reason why you can go into different parts of the world where they are, and you find that even though they're living in a foreign country, they have it blocked off. Even the people who live there are not going to come in those areas. They're not going to drive down those streets. They're not going to be peering at their women and children. They're not going to do that. They're going to say these people side-eyed America when they brought them over here. Now, there is another faction, and we're going to get to that because we're not ignorant. Okay, we're not ignorant. But there is definitely another faction of individuals that they've brought here. All right, and that other faction is a faction that they have sat down in a room, given instructions, had conversations with, chatted and told them what they expected of them. We're giving you this money because of X. And this is what we want you to do on this day. I've spoken of the dog whistle effect. I've spoken about it. Mr. Leslie's heard me say it. Okay. Several other of my mods here have heard me talk about it, and I believe that they're going to blow a whistle at a specific time and all those individuals are going to be activated. I used that example while we were talking about the people that were attacking the police in New York a few months back. That what we saw was just a little bitty portion of what they had been told to do, and that it wasn't the right time for them to do it. You guys remember that? I said it wasn't the right time for them to react and respond the way that they did, but they were already told that when you get to the United States, this is the type of stuff we want you to do, and there's an appointed time for it. But what they did is they just exacted what they had been told. That's the reason why they got off. That's the reason why they went to jail and was sent back out. A lot of them. Okay? So now that's another faction. That's another branch of the individuals that we're talking about that they're allowing to come over here because, see, they don't think. I don't know who they had doing all of their strategy, but their strategy wasn't strategizing. Okay? Their strategy was not working at all. So we have Al Sharpton saying that it's the misogynistic black men and the misogynistic Hispanic men and how they don't want to follow a woman's lead and don't want to do this. Look, I'm a chick and I wouldn't want to follow a chick. Why? Because we are emotional. We are not stable on a daily basis. Hence the term hysteria. Hence the term hysterectomy. Hence the term. Okay? We are not that stable. And I don't care what chick want to step to me and say that we are. Her stepping to me tells me she's not. Okay? We're not. We are not. The men are generally the ones who have the level head now because of some of the things that's gone on, both chemically as well as societally. We've got some men who are a little bit more on the feminine side, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about dudes that go and sit down and get the job done on a daily basis, and he strategizes his day. He plans his day. He knows exactly what he's doing. He looks at he forecasts. He sees what the bills are in the household, and he forecasts what he's going to have to do to get it to happen. The woman is not. She's not doing that. Now, she can keep the house together. And yeah, I'm saying it. This is me. Why? Because this is what's real. And this is what those other cultures that I just got through talking about have that the Democrats did not think about. They did not think that they were going to offend somebody. Those people got over here and they were used to having less. But you see what they did, especially the fellas that were in those communities like Dearborn, Michigan, and all those areas. What they were able to see was a glimpse of what they had just left. The Hispanic communities that they brought over here, they were able to see a glimpse of what they just left. If this keep going, this going to be what we just left. And we're not going to have the freedom. We're not going to have the freedom because they didn't let us say what we wanted to say over there. They didn't let us earn what we needed to earn over there. We were all sharing one loaf of bread. And I'm using that figuratively, okay? Everybody put it all in one pot and just divide it. That's what she was talking about when Kamala was talking about the fact that, you know what? Everybody doesn't get an even playing field, sis. That's life. That's life. Everybody is born on this earth. And when they're born on this earth, every human being has the ability to do. They do. If you're born here, you start here. We're born. I love the Strangest Secret. I love the Strangest Secret, where he says, he asked the question and the cat told him, you know what? Every man, you can take X amount of men, put them all together in a room, take 100 men, put them together. By this point, this would happen. By this point, that would happen. And you may only have one man or two men that come out millionaires or billionaires or have a whole lot of money while the other ones are penniless. Why? Because it's what you are learning. It's what you are doing. It's how you're being indoctrinated. It's all of that. If it were not so, then you would not have people born and raised out there in the slums that become millionaires and can think and can create. The fact that you have people who are millionaires, who can think, who came out of the slums, who came out of the, Section 8 housing and all of that stuff, that now become neurosurgeons. The fact that you got one dispels the myth that it can't be done. And that is what I'm using as a foundation to share this point with you. My point is, she didn't think. She lost because the people who were moving her around, because she's just a puppet, they are so old and stale. They're so old, they're so stale. They knew that it worked a long time ago and they're trying it again. But what they failed to realize is, we didn't have technology back then when we were watching homeboy get beat up on that highway. We didn't have technology to figure out what's real and what's not real. We didn't have technology to figure it out. We didn't have technology to go and do some research and dig up what little remnants was left of truth, of any documents, of any of that. They thought that we were all just dumb and stupid. See, that's what tells you that they do not care, because they put all human beings in boxes. And the only thing that you can put in boxes is your cutlery. That's it. You can put your knives over here. You can put your, steak knife there. You can put your fish knife there. You can put your butter knife there. You can put that stuff in boxes, but you cannot put people in boxes. You cannot take ethnicities. You cannot ethnos. You cannot take ethnicities and stick them in boxes and say, hey, brother man, guess what we're going to do? We're going to give you the right to get high all day. We're going to go on ahead here and we're going to say, hey, you can have all the weed you want. We're going to make it legal. We're going to make it legal. How you like that? How you like it? Feel good, don't it? Ignorance is what they were betting on. Black men look like, are you kidding me, man? I got bills to pay. Do you not see most of these cats driving decent cars that they worked hard to get? Do you not see these guys out here that are really trying to take care of their wives and their kids and their house note? And, they went a few years ago and they were able to buy a house. These cats are out here trying to make it. And you going to come to him and try to pander and tell him, hey, you can smoke all the weed you want. All the tap dancing, pandering, and changing the accents to fit the narrative or the audience was not working. That didn't work. Why? She lost. Period. It didn't work. They even wanted to blame the white woman. Well, it was the white women. Yeah, it was the white women. The white women ran and did it. Oh, then they switch it up. It's the uneducated. Well, did you not see the Hispanic men, the black men, the white uneducated white woman, all the other people? Did you not see that landslide? Did that not tell you something wasn't working? Something didn't work. There's some flies in the buttermilk for you. Flies are in the buttermilk for you because it wasn't working. Your math was not mathing. Why she lost was because of the fact that they attempted to steal the right for the Democrat people to literally choose a replacement. They told them who they were going to vote for. So this is telling you right here who you're really dealing with. And if we strip everything down, if you take Kilroy, make him a gigantic, take a gigantic robot and then start to strip off all of the metal and everything, and then you see what the bare bones is. Now you see what you're really working with. That right there, what you're really working with, was very weak in and of itself. It was corrupt in and of itself. You had rust. Okay? You had rust. You thought you had yourself a Helix. You was driving around in a Pinto. You thought you had yourself an ironclad machine. You thought you had yourself something. You thought you was pushing the Tacoma. It may not be the Helix, it's the Tacoma. You thought you really had a tank, and you didn't. You were driving around with a rust-filled barnacle. And in your mind, because you think that people are stupid and they're going to accept it and buy it, you thought you had a winner, and you didn't. Why? She lost. Why she lost? She lost because she didn't have a platform. And the platform that she did have was so nefarious and so dangerous that if we saw it, immediately people who did vote for her would not have, had they had any sense. You see, they had done all the indoctrinating they could back in 2020, 2021. They did it all. They pushed and pushed and pushed and saw exactly how far a person would go with a lie. They go far for a lie. All we have to do is say boo, and they're buying up all the toilet paper. Look how they react. Look how they respond. And then earlier in the day, because they lie so much, they really honestly believed their own lie. I tell you guys all the time, it's like a person who wrote the resume and it is stellar. They believe their own press, but they wrote it. How can you believe the own press that you wrote when you know doggone good and well you didn't sit 1 minute for any of what you say you do? But that's exactly what they've done. Why she lost? She lost because she wasn't genuine. She lost because she is, by all means, 15 different people at once. She lost because she can't figure out who she is from one side to the next. And that's the danger of sliding a puppet in a place they should not be. That's not to say that there aren't going to be any women in the future. I venture to say that after Trump's term, y'all better watch out. He only got 4 years. But this is another replay of what happened in 2016. It is time for you to get your stuff together. Pack and stack, pack and stack, pack and stack. Prep, pray, get out the way. You say, y'all see my brother came back up. Y'all see Roy Potter to come back out. He telling you guys some more stuff. You better get over there to Twitter and follow him. Because he's only out for a minute. He's been gone for a minute. For those of you guys who know him, you know he's been out the cut for a while. You better get over there and scoop up some of that knowledge and information. So now you have those who are the watchers sitting up telling you guys, hey, on the watchman on the wall, you better get pack and stack. And this is for myself too. But my point is, why she lost is because she underestimated her audience. She talked down to every single person, every audience that she went to. She went to colleges and talked to those people like they were second graders. And then didn't even have the audacity to show up for her alleged HBCU alumni crowd. She sent another cat out to do her talking. I mean, that must be some, she's so rich, it must be some good liquor that she was on, baby, because she didn't even dot the door. The cat had gone out there and said, she ain't coming out. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. See y'all later. Okay. See, here's what I'm so happy about. I am so happy because even though I do not vote and I do intercede, I ain't stupid. Here's what I'm happy about. I'm happy about the fact that it was a landslide on all counts. And I really, honestly, truly, you know, I wish I could really talk to you guys, talk to y'all. I really wish I could just tell you what I truly think in my gut. Not the right audience, and I just can't do it. But I just want to tell you guys something that I truly think that there was something else in the play that day, because it was a calm still, a very eerie, not even calm. It was an eerie stillness before 6 o'clock Eastern here. It was just about 6 o'clock Eastern, which is 5 o'clock Central. It was a eerie stillness. It was eerie. It was almost like there was some bumping going on someplace else. So like, look here, we ain't gonna have none of this. We ain't gonna have none of that. We ain't gonna have none of this or that. So don't try to bring none of that to the table. You better go get your dogs and call them off. I think somebody's hand was stayed. Maybe it was those of us who were interceding. My intercessory mindset was, you know what, Most High, whatever is not real, whatever is not true, remove that. Anybody that tries to lie, remove that and let it be exposed immediately. So that is how my mouth was postured that day. Any lies, no matter whose side it is, Let it be revealed and let it be removed. And that's still what it is today, because we don't know exactly what happened, but something happened that night. I'm telling y'all, something happened, baby, because it was quiet. As soon as certain numbers started to manifest, I was like, okay, here they go. I could feel something about to happen. And something, here come the other shoe gonna drop. Now, we could always say, let's just have the peace and let's just have the tranquility and let's just take it day by day and let all of us attempt to rebuild our minds, take a deep breath and pack and stack. And don't pack and stack like people pack and stack and then all of a sudden they send a flood through. Because you can pack and stack all you want. I'm talking about building up your most holy faith, your most separate faith. I'm talking about pack and stack the stuff you can't buy. Health, wellness, all of us, let's do it together. Let's pack and stack that. Let's take all of the negative thought that we had, all the negative speak that we were doing about the most recent circumstances because they were heinous. And it's going to take a lot for us to, reprogram our minds because of all of the treachery and the garbage that was constantly coming out. And you guys saw, I had to stay away for days. I would just thumb through stories, get ready to go do one, and I couldn't do it. I was like, I just can't. You got to be kidding me. So we really do have to take those breaks and get ourselves together. We have to get our minds together because we've got too many people depending on us in our lives, in our age groups. We've got too many people depending on us for us to be off kilter, for us to be out of bounds, for us to be off. So now let's take a look at some more stuff. We're going to take a look at some more stuff. I do want to finish up this Lefties Losing It because I just love this chick. So she's going to really sum it up for the next few minutes because we only have a 30-minute podcast. And so we've got a few more minutes here. So let's go on ahead. I'm going to let her finish what she was doing here when we got so rudely interrupted on the other side when I had to come over here. So let me go because she's talking the talk. This comes from Sky News. I love this chick. I absolutely love her. Please go to Sky News Australia. Her name is Rita Panahi or Panahai. I don't want to say it incorrectly, but I'm going to play this chick right here again. This young black girl, because honey, somebody lied to you. Here she go. This po child here, po baby. I just wanted to reach out and give her a hug.
I'm sorry. No. Why?
Look, it's fair to say she's not handling it well. As for this next lass, I'm not sure where she is today.
I swear to God, if you idiots elect that demented man, I will burn this whole place to the ground.
And this woman is too old to be this stupid, but sadly, leftism and TDS can leave the sufferer delirious, delusional, and dangerously stupid.
You voted for a racist, a rapist, a dictator. You voted for a bully, a bigot, and a narcissist. Even the Germans tried to warn us, but you didn't listen. You didn't listen to the historians, the psychologists, the educators, and the intellectuals. Of course not, because dictatorship 101 is to convince you to distrust the media, the educated, and to create an us versus them mentality.
It's always the dimmest folk who go on about educated experts. If you're wondering why these lefties are so triggered, so shocked by reality, so out of touch with their fellow Americans, well, it could be because they consume the type of media I'm about to show you now. Here are some of our favourite media leftists who were convinced that Donald Trump was toast, that Kamala was going to win and win easily.
In my humble view, lights out.
Please welcome back the next president of the United States.
I think it's going to be a blowout, actually. I don't think it's going to be a close race. I think there are going to be those Republicans that just...
Oh, she called it.
Vote for Harris.
It'll be tied on election day, as always it will. The polls will be tied, and then he'll lose.
You call us trash? Oh. Oh, J.D. Vance, you just stepped up in a way that I've never seen in my political life, and I worked for Sarah Palin.
I would say take Harris over 270 electoral votes. Let these fools in these crypto markets do something. Let them drive the betting line into a favorable place and then take advantage of it. That's what I would do. I think she's going to win.
You wrote Trump is toast. Do you stand behind that today?
Oh, even more so. I feel the same way that I felt a few weeks ago that Trump is toast.
And they're not taking the loss well. Here is Sunny Hostin of The View.
Hold on a second. So, and we have to use commentary here. So you heard the guy say that Trump is toast. That's the same loser that was talking several years ago. All he does is rattle. All he does is rattle on, and he says, oh, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and he's this, and he's that. All they can do is say bad things about people. And Trump has his way as well. But here I'm pointing specifically at the fact that if you just look at the source, entertainers, basketball stars, okay, actors, hello, that should tell us right there what's good.
You lashing out at white women without college degrees.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men, actually.
Okay, wait a minute, 52%. 52% of white uneducated women voted for him. This was a landslide, dingbat. And this chick right here is so purchased. See, that is the definition of purchased, and I said it. Okay? This is me. I am an employee of the Lockhart group, so you can't get me for nothing. You want me? Come on, get this 22 cents that I got in my bank account. Come on, because you ain't going to get nothing else out of nobody else. So I am saying it. Not Headlines with a Voice, not the Lockhart Perspective. Me, personally, Felicia, I said it. You are purchased. Because if you weren't purchased, you wouldn't have done such a gigantic shift over the past couple of years. They told you what to say. So now you're telling me that 52% of the white women who you now say are uneducated women, who just might be a part of who is watching your show, because y'all ain't got but, 5 or 6 people still hanging out, and majority of all those applause that you guys get are the people that's working the grip, the cameraman. Okay. All right. You guys got laughter in a can. No, I haven't seen your audience. And if it is, you can pan on anybody else's audience. You see what I'm saying? So that's the truth. This chick is purchased. All of them is purchased. And most of them don't even believe half the trash they're saying. But because they're actors, they get with it. Now she's about to talking about and has the audacity to say Latina correctly. Or Latino correctly.
Actually voting more for him.
Those awful women and Latino men, how dare they think for themselves? By the way, the exit polls showed that the majority of married men, unmarried men, and married women voted for Trump. It was the unmarried women who backed Kamala. What was it that J.D. Vance said about that group? And Sunny also made some absurd claims about losing her civil rights. The desperation to be a victim is strong in this one.
Now this right here, you guys, I want you to listen to this very carefully because I've never heard such mindless dribble. But if you look down here at Whoopi's face, Whoopi is like, come on, girl, hang yourself, because I just want to see. They tried to get me to say the stuff you about to say, and I wasn't going to say it. So go head on. Look at Whoopi's face. Look at the way the Whoopi is sitting there. Whoopi is Whoopi waiting. We'll be waiting.
Worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed.
Okay, so at what point did you lose your rights? Which is the reason why you see the thumbnail has the freedom in the background, because that was taken from one of Kamala's rallies. Freedom, 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 freedom from what? Ain't nobody slaved like that. I mean, if you really look at it, all Americans who pay into the tax system are desperately slaves. If you look at it on a daily basis, okay? But you guys have put more people in bondage than anything else. You all know people who don't have no job, and yet they've touted numbers that have been unbelievable. Everybody here knows somebody who's been struggling to get a job. She's old Pete's. I even told you guys it was terrible. Companies drying up, clients backing out because they don't have any money. They've lost contracts. The people that they were dealing with have now laid off hundreds of people, and they can't pay me. Everybody was going through something. These individuals were living in a utopia, straight up utopia. Straight up 1984 utopia. See, they was trying to exact 1984 while a whole lot of folks still had their minds. Okay, they was trying to do that when a whole lot of people could still see. That doesn't mean that they won't change their strategy later, but for right now, baby, 1984 is exactly where we're headed. It hasn't reached the full maturity, but they're definitely playing with it, and I'm not absolving any leader from this. And I mean that. Take carefully what I'm saying. So I don't understand this whole freedom piece. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Yeah, if you get up every single day, if you just look at your life, you get up every single day, unless you're a billionaire, because millions ain't even helping no more, thanks to them. You're getting up every single day to go to a job just so that you can pay to stay in a house that if something happens, it's not yours. That if something happens, you better not stub your toe and have to be out. It don't belong to you. You're getting up every single day going to take care of a car note that if you just miss one beat, you're not going to have it. So you're getting up every single day to go and put money back into the power structure as a slave. It may be a little more prettied up and ain't nobody moving no cotton like my grandmamas was on their own land doing sharecropping. But the point I'm making is everybody is now. I believe that slavery, and I said this over on the Lockhart Perspective, I believe that slavery was a type. And this is the antitype. I believe that slavery was a type to see exactly how people would react if they had to do X. And it came from the people who came across the water, the same people who run this place now. It just changes the timeline. That's all. The game is still the same. If the game ever worked, all they do is tweak the pieces that don't, and they keep it pushing. But they keep their playbook. Matter of fact, they keep the playbook under lock and key. But now we see your slip is truly showing.
Perpetually aggrieved ladies of the View also want greater censorship. They want to curb free speech on social media so a Democrat never loses again.
Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
Yeah, just stop everybody from being able to give their opinion. Stop everybody from being able to share their thoughts. Do the whole 6 foot thing again. But this time, just block off all of social media because they're not believing our lies. And because they're not believing our lies, we got to get rid of all of them. Hey, they're reading. Hey, they're listening. No, not just that, but we have a mind that we can see. We see what you're doing. So get rid of social media. And the bad part about it is that all the dodo birds that were all running around touting this chick and her Marxist views as a saint did not understand that even their public outrage was being threatened. Their ability to have public outrage was being threatened because they're dodos. And every single woman on this panel, none of them are wondering where their next meal is coming from. None of them are wondering how they're going to keep the lights on. Ain't none of them wondering what they're going to push when they leave the studio. Every single one of them got either a driver or a car key to get into some stuff that they own. None of these people, none of the stars, none of them have any of the issues that everyday Americans who they were attempting to get to vote for them have. You got people right now that cannot stand their job, and it makes them physically ill just to go to that doggone place and deal with the dimwit that's over them. Could have somebody having 20, 30 years experience, but because they've got to go to work, they're listening to the toddler try out a new idea about something that they've been doing forever.
Well, with Elon Musk now in the administration.
Now to MSNBC's Joy Reid, who's always having a normal one. Here she claims that Florida is a fascist state.
It's a pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida. And that kind of extreme, sort of extremist right-wing fascist type government in Florida. Does that make it a more attractive place?
Oh dear.
And she has a whole lot of nerve. Her mama and daddy and them ain't even from here. That chick was raised in New York, but her parents, Joy Reid, her people are not from here. But she runs her mouth like she knows exactly what she's talking about. Both of her parents are from another country, totally. They're from Africa. They're from the continent of Africa. I know one is from Guyana. So one is from, I think the father's from Africa and the mother is from like Guyana. I think she is. But nonetheless, she's not from here. And all she does is run her lips. That's it. These people are purchasable. Change the network. I guarantee you, everything she says will change.
And if you're in the habit of consuming media like that, then you may react like this when Donald Trump has a landslide victory.
We may not have rights tomorrow.
Yo, I'm scared to go to sleep. I might wake up on my slave.
Anyone else having a meltdown? I don't know how to do this. Right now, I'm just not. I can't deal with this right now. I am 48 years old and I have never experienced anything like this and never thought I would in this country.
Wait a minute. If you 48, that means you was alive in 2016. Get it together. And this man, what and who paid you to sit yourself on TV and look like this on social media? Who cajoled you to make an outright donkey of yourself?
I'm so stressed. I don't know how to handle this.
Oh, I'm so sad. But the best reaction goes to this jokester. This is superb work.
I'm literally shaking right now. I'm a trans woman with a baby on the way. What am I going to do? Keep it?
Now, that was parody. I'm not sure if this next video is. I suspect it could be real. It's hard to tell nowadays.
I can't believe Trump's actually going to win this fucking thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so up. God damn it.
And here is
Hey! I didn't like his t-shirt, but I didn't like his birthday suit. I liked his birthday suit even less. Oh my God. Why? Woo! It was, that dude had man chi-chis. He was 6 months pregnant, at 9 months, 12 months pregnant. He had man chi-chis and he was 12 months pregnant. Let's get a gander.
I think Trump's actually going to win this fucking thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so up. God damn it.
And here is another white dude for Kamala, or is it a work of satire?
What the hell? You cannot be serious. How did I wake up to this garbage as my president? That's right, garbage. I went to bed last night and she was ahead. I woke up to this freaking nightmare. Donald Trump? How? Does America have this many Nazi, Hitler following pieces of trash?
Look at that. That had to be a satire. Homeboy sitting up there with a hat and a scarf. I ain't talking about the colors. He had a hat and a scarf with no shirt. That was a good joke. He had to be. So that's satirical at best.
50s with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, pretending she's some heroine in a Nazi film. Here she warns that we're about to enter a period of fascism. I'm so scared.
Let's say peers in history of mass movements of people that mobilize to protect one another in times of fascism and authoritarianism. And this is the era that we are poised to enter.
Joining me now is Batia Ungasagon, Newsweek Deputy Opinion Editor and author of Second Class, How the...
Meanwhile, all of the people who are talking, again, do not have any of the issues that we have. I mean it right now. Majority of folk is beating the hell out of their mailbox, hoping that somebody somewhere sent them some type of something. You know what? I remember I loaned Becky $5 when we were in 12th grade. And even though I know that was 30 years ago, I'm trying my best to think, Becky, send me my $5. You thinking, using your telepathy, hoping that your pineal gland don't have a whole lot of fluoride and aluminum preventing it from working. You really trying to channel Becky for that $5. Everybody and their mama trying to think of who owe them something. Or, hey, I know I told you I just did it out of the bottom of my heart, but do you got a bottom of yours right about now? Do you got a bottom of your heart? Because I need about $5. Everybody is trying to figure out what they're going to do to make the next day come about. And these individuals are filthy rich. You know what the funniest thing was before we get out of here? The funniest thing was when Kamala had packed houses that were filled with people. Okay. And I'm not talking about just the people who were bussed. I'm talking about regular everyday people packed into Atlanta so that they could see the stars that she had coming up there. Okay. All right. Meg the Stallion, that place was packed. So much so that as soon as Meg the Stallion left the stage, a whole bunch of people got up and walked out. Everybody and their mama wanted to see Beyonce have something to say. They didn't show up because they wanted to see Kamala. They just wanted to get a glimpse of Bey. Nobody wanted to see, had any money to come and see the boss. They just wanted to see him. They didn't have no money. The main reason why those places were stacked at that time was because if the regular everyday American wanted to get up and see any of them people, they could not afford any of the tickets, and that was the best way to get to go see him. And I'm done with it. That's the only way anybody was going to be able to see Beyonce, Meg the Stallion, J-Lo with her old worn out self. Okay. And I believe that half of the people that was showing up showed up because they do not want Diddy's tapes to be released. Please don't show me. If I show up on your stage, will you make sure that video don't show? Because you know this dude run around here 20, 30 years full of videos. Will you make sure that video stops circulating? There's a whole lot of underlying stuff going on here. Quincy Jones, where you really at? Let me get my butt off of here before I get in some trouble. But I'm telling you the truth. I am telling you the truth. They all believed a lie. Every single one of them believed a lie. So why she lost was because she built her platform on lying. Lying, pimping, pandering, and simping. Now you can take that any way you want to. Lying, pimping, pandering, and simping. Simping men. Pimping mindset folks. Pandering, tap dancing, changing the language everywhere she goes. Y'all better thank a union member. You better thank. She even went over there to Noticias or to the Telemundo, and they was cracking up laughing at her when it was all over. I watched Telemundo that night. I watched all those different channels. I watched so many different channels and watched to see exactly what everybody had to say. Hey, Tonette. Hey, Charlie Sigler. My mods are in the house. Thank you. But I watched so many of those shows the other night, just trying to keep my eyes on keeping my eyes on everything and putting my finger on the pulse of exactly how this thing might come out and looking at what everybody said. The problem with the media is they are not fair, nor are they balanced, and they do everything they can to prevent others who can see from having a voice, which is the reason why they attack these channels and people like myself. And with that said, I will ask for even $1 from anyone that would like to. All of my information is down below in the description. Before we leave up out of here, I believe that every servant is worthy. A workman is worthy of his hire. And I'm not about to lie about that no more. I'm about to be real. and let you know that if you guys would like to, and if you can afford to, put 2 quarters together, rub them real tight, manifest a buck, go ahead on and send it to your girl, because they do not want any of what we have to say to be heard. Okay. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for hanging out with me for the past hour. It was only supposed to be a 30-minute podcast, but I thank each and every one of you guys. I know you could have been doing something else, but you decided to hang out with Fifi this morning, baby. You better tell somebody. All right, you guys will see my face on Friday nights. You will see my face on Friday nights. And we can hang out together and do an overview on the entire week, crack up laughing and have a good time. You can also check me out over on the Lockhart Perspective. Every now and again, I put out stories over there. We've got a couple of other channels. We've got our World Hour Stories, got 2 videos over there. It's brand new. And I just want to tell you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I appreciate you all who do think of me and send a couple of bucks every now and then. I'll wake up in the morning and I'll have a Cash App. Thank you. For those of you guys who go over to PayPal and send me money without me knowing and not see it, thank you. People who use my mailbox and you send things, thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you and what you do, because you and I both know, baby, it ain't easy. Take care of yourselves. And make sure that you take care of you first, because as you know, I say all the time, get down and you ain't gonna see nobody but you and the Lord. You and the Lord, that's gonna be it. And then once you get yourself together and get yourself established, you can reach around. My grandmama, reach around and take care of somebody else. You guys have a good day. And before you do have that good day, I want to tell you something. Hey everyone, it's me, Felicia, of the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice. I want to tell you a little secret. This is what I used to do, because I don't do it anymore. I would go to the store, buy the barbecue sauce, pour it inside of a bowl, put a whole bunch of different spices, a dash of brown sugar, a dash of maple, and a dash of mustard, stir it all around, and everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this is the best, this is the best. But I was exhausted after all of that, and a lot of times I couldn't remember how many dashes of what I put in it. But I don't have to do that anymore, because now I just go to Judge Joe Brown's website and I order his 3-pack of bottled barbecue sauce. It is by far the best, and I do mean the best barbecue sauce I've ever eaten. And when you go to his website and you order his 3-pack, you'll see exactly what I mean. Head on over to jjbbbbq.com and order Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to tell me about it. I know you will.
Lockhart Perspective.